WWE has admittedly been in a bit of a slump as of late, as storylines have fallen flat with no interest in them at all. WWE has frequently been using its tired and familiar formula of opening up shows every week with multi-man talk segments, and thanks to the wild card rule, many talented wrestlers on the roster are now in the back twiddling their thumbs, having no airtime at all, and missing for weeks. However, this week's edition of Monday Night Raw could have sparked a change in direction, as WWE finally managed to put together a captivating and well thought out episode, but it's down to one reason which we will reveal later. As for the show, WWE's Universal Champion stood tall from the beginning of the episode almost right up until the end. Elias opened up the show and revealed to be wearing a referee shirt, signaling he might be the special guest referee at Stomping Grounds. But out of nowhere, Seth Rollins arrives with a chair and smashes it against the Drifter's back numerous times, taking him out. Seth mentions he's done playing games, and this was a message to anyone considering the position, as they will get the same treatment. To keep things hot, the first match of the night was the 5-man elimination match, where the winner will go on to face Samoa Joe at Stomping Grounds. As each man came out, poor Elias was on the receiving end of their finishers. A skull-crushing finale, spear, swing, codebreaker, and a running power slam were all delivered before the match had even begun. Hell, Elias wasn't even in the match to begin with. Strowman started off the match strong, and Cesaro shows up his freakish strength. Even though he was out first thanks to a running power slam by Strowman, please give this man a Universal title push. He seriously deserves it. Another slam by Strowman eliminates Bobby Lashley. Ricochet then hits the 630 on Strowman, and both Cesaro and Lashley, though eliminated, help with a cover to get the Monster Among Men eliminated. Strowman gets angry and starts to beat down the eliminated competitors. It's now down to Miz and Ricochet, and the two have a great exchange in the ring. Ricochet hits the 630 to win and becomes the #1 contender for the United States Championship. The celebration is cut short though, as US Champion Samoa Joe, who was at ringside, attacks him, but he doesn't get the job done, as Ricochet still has some fight left in him to bat him off. An absolutely solid bout, worthy of a pay-per-view, and the chemistry between the Miz and Ricochet was electric in the ring. It's too bad both are faces, but at least we get a match between Ricochet and Joe for the United States title at Stomping Grounds. Becky Lynch comes out and does a great job hyping the rematch between her and Lacey Evans this Sunday, hitting the exploder on Evans and leaving. It was a quick to the point segment rather than a debate in the ring, which leaves things flat for Sunday. Backstage, the Revival celebrate with the Best in the World and Drew McIntyre. Elsewhere, Baron Corbin is then interviewed and mentioned he will reveal the referee on the Kevin and Sami show tonight, but Rollins attacks Corbin from behind. The SmackDown Tag Team Champions arrive, and the Eco Warrior calls LA the smog capital of America, which is filled with ignorant and impotent people. The Viking Raiders arrive, and even though it's nice to see them get some airtime, it's a meaningless match with two jobbers. They defeat them in quick fashion. Hoping to blend in with the crowd, Truth and Carmella are at ringside, but instead of dressing up as fans, they're in disguise, with Truth looking like George Washington and Carmella looking like Charlie Chaplin. They're quickly found out and are rushed by a number of wrestlers looking to capture the belt. Backstage again, Heath Slater asks the Best in the World for a raise as his kids are getting older. He's denied and then beaten down by his former friend and teammate, the Scottish psychopath Drew McIntyre. The money falls down to the ground, but the Revival cheekily pocket the money. Gotta get paid, right? It's now time for EC3's weekly burial, as Corbin reveals he's the referee, but quickly gets beaten down by Rollins from behind with a steel chair. The New Day then reveal themselves as a wild card, and it's pretty clear by now WWE can't keep track of their own rule of 4 superstars per show, as we've had 5 already. Wait, do Carmella and Truth count? Okay, make it 7. Anyway, the New Day makes a challenge to Corbin, Owens and Zayn by hilariously mimicking EC3's voice, even though he's out cold. It's so sad to see him get buried like this, but he deserves a push just for keeping it together and not managing to laugh. Backstage, AJ Styles is with his trainer and the Good Brothers arrive dressed as doctors. They reminisce on how they debuted here 3 years ago, and whilst they've made names for themselves, they haven't done much lately. Styles wants the old Gallows and Anderson, and the duo will prove they still mean business when they take on the Usos later on in the night. A match has also been announced for Stomping Grounds between Xavier Woods and Big E versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. For now though, we get a 6-man tag match, which is now 2 out of 3 falls. The New Day get a strong defeat over the trio as they won 2-0. This was a good match and it keeps Kofi's win streak intact, but Corbin losing in such fashion makes him look incredibly weak going into the title match this Sunday. Paul Heyman shows up and teases whether Brock is here tonight. Spoiler alert, he's not. Baron Corbin talks to Eric Young backstage about the referee position, but Young takes too long in deciding and eats chair for no reason. Even though AJ Styles did a good job pep talking the Good Brothers, it didn't seem to work as they were defeated by the Usos in around 2 minutes. We're pretty sure at this point the Good Brothers are counting down the days. The big dog Roman Reigns, or wildcard number 8, is here, and he calls out Shane McMahon for a fight right here right now, but instead Shane is on the screen backstage, and is joined by Drew McIntyre, who states he's gonna maul the big dog this Sunday. Reigns has had enough and starts heading backstage looking for the pair. He manages to get through the revival and finds Shane and Drew. He puts Drew through a table and starts chasing down the best in the world, and manages to get his hands on him, giving him a spear. This is what we want. A badass no-nonsense Roman Reigns who is ready for Sunday to get some redemption for his loss at Super Showdown. Earlier on in the night, Alexa Bliss gave Nikki Cross a present which turned out to be a tag title match. So that's what we have now, but the match is more of a segue to hype Bliss and Bayley for Sunday, which, let's be fair, is what the WWE should be doing. The champions ultimately retain in a short match. It's Firefly Funhouse time with another cryptic episode, this time with a cultaholic like Bray Wyatt urging fans to join us, and then turning into the Fiend. Despite reports suggesting that Bray Wyatt would appear on Raw, that wasn't the case, but we feel that they will reveal him at the pay-per-view. For what it's worth, PW Insider did note that Bray Wyatt was backstage. It's now time for the main event between Seth Rollins and Daniel Bryan. They clash in the ring, but it's cut short by Rowan interfering, which leads to a huge brawl in the ring as many wrestlers come to the aid for each side. The match restarts with everybody being barred from ringside. It was a great match as Rollins hit the blackout for a win, but in the end, Corbin managed to get his own back with a steel chair shot taking out Rollins. This was finally a solid episode of Monday Night Raw, but it seems there was a good reason for WWE to pull out all the stops for a good episode with all its fast-paced action, wild cards, and various changes to its regular and mundane show, and it's ultimately down to low ticket sales for Stomping Grounds. The card, which features mostly rematches from previous pay-per-views like Super Showdown and WrestleMania 35, has obviously garnered little interest from fans wanting to buy a ticket for something they've already seen, plus WWE still have yet to reveal who the referee could be, something that could no doubt spark some interest if it were to be someone like Brock Lesnar. Those who want to purchase tickets for the event on Ticketmaster will find that there are still hundreds of tickets that remain to be sold. You might be thinking that's not too bad for an arena that can potentially seat up 23,000 fans, but WWE have tapered off many sections leading to a total capacity of around 10 to 15,000, but they're still struggling. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer Radio recently spoke on WWE desperately trying to do everything they can to boost ticket sales. Look at the pay-per-view in Tacoma. They're having to give away tickets. I mean, they're doing 2-for-1 tickets. They're blocking off all kinds of places, so 2 tickets for $20 for a pay-per-view? Unheard of. I mean, when's the last time that happened for a WWE show? It seems that WWE is also aware of the poor ticket sales, doing everything they can to shake things up before the event. Wrestling Insider WrestleVotes tweeted, WWE is aware of the poor ticket sales for Sunday's pay-per-view event in Washington State. There has been talks of shaking up the card, nothing I can confidently report on though yet. This news comes especially disconcerting to WWE after AEW's all-out pay-per-view, set to air in August at the Sears Center, sold out in an incredible 15 minutes. However, it seems that making Raw exciting for 1 week surprisingly hasn't changed the stance on ticket sales, as the majority of unsold seats remain. In an effort to make things more exciting on Raw, WWE also noticeably cut back on airtime for Shane McMahon, who has dominantly been present on both shows for the past couple of weeks, as it's been reported that talent backstage has become increasingly frustrated due to his added screen time. Fightful.com reported, "We've not heard of Shane being criticised personally, but that the decision to heavily feature Shane McMahon in the middle of a wildcard scenario that already limits screen time for others is quote-unquote infuriating. How could WWE really remedy the poor ticket sales? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content."